Oh, here we are again. We're back.
We are.
We're back.
Sorry, I was texting then. Oh,
Oh,
this meeting is being recorded.
it is.
I don't normally get that. Sorry, I
Right.
was texting.
Okay. How
I
how rude. How
know,
unprofessional.
sorry. And I just said, let me finish this meeting.
How unprofessional. Everybody think we didn't take this seriously.
Life's too serious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, is it?
Uh,
Yeah, is it Christmas? Are you looking forward to Christmas, Stuart?
I it doesn't bother me that much, to be fair. I do and I don't. I'm not. I like the idea of Christmas, but the build up to it stresses me out too much.
I'm fed up with a 2 week. I just need 2 weeks off.
Yeah, it's for me a bit of time off, seeing everybody.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I know
I
so
do like
many people that Christmas stresses them out,
I do like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day. As I like the whole that part of it, but just all the don't need all the build up to it for my.
Yeah, no, I don't mind. Anyway, let's move on, shall we?
Yeah, we'll move on.
I've just
Um,
realised I don't think I'm looking at the camera because you're down there, and I think my camera's up there.
yeah, you're definitely looking at the camera every
Am
now and
I?
again.
Oh,
Now,
that's all
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah,
I'm going to
yeah, yeah.
move you then. So, oh, I've missed. There we go. There we go. I've got a different view now.
There you go.
I've still got Naya behind me. She's still playing. She's still playing parrot.
Right. So, topic we're thinking about going into now is online training versus physical face-to-face training.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What do you
nowadays,
prefer? What do you prefer?
face-to-face
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for me.
No, I don't
Um,
mean from a teaching point of view. I mean, if you wanted to go and train, do you prefer online
face to
training?
face,
Yeah,
face
I
to
do as
face.
well. Yeah.
I like to solve a problem that's happening right there and then. For one, um, um, uh, I offer a little bit of online training. I don't get much from it. I don't get a lot of people signing up for online training. Most of the stuff I do is face to face. But yeah, I know there's lots and lots out there online, different obviously platforms, way of doing things and whatever. And I guess it's got its place there, and they're obviously doing really well with it.
Mm.
But I'm not sure whether I don't know whether it's the best way to be going.
I think so I was talking about this with my PT the other day. This is completely off piste, and we'll come back to that in a minute.
Yeah,
But obviously, since COVID, I mentioned it again, God. But since COVID, lots of people work from home. Lots of people offer online stuff. Lots
yeah,
of people do that, so and so and so and so, which is cool. However, we know that studies show, so analytical studies show that because of the lockdowns, people are suffering with more mental health
yeah,
problems, more social anxieties, etc., etc., etc. So here's where I sit. If you just want to sit in the comfort on your own house and do a little bit of training with your dog and you have a little bit of land, a little bit of equipment, great,
yeah,
fantastic. Just get out there and do your online course because that suits you.
yeah.
However, for me, I don't think it addresses the mental health issues
No,
that when you step into a competitive environment, you
yeah,
needed to have addressed.
yes, yeah. I agree, and I think that goes for uh, not only handlers but for the dogs as well.
Yeah,
For me. Whereas if you're continually training on your own in the comfort of your own garden or your own field in your own environment with all the same things at the same time every day,
you're probably going to think you're bloody amazing.
yeah, yeah, and who knows? I mean, the dog might be absolutely brilliant, but then can they cope then with all the other bits that go with that? So, excuse me, the noises of the dogs, people, you know, vehicles moving around, whatever there is out there. Um, so like my venue, I'm lucky in a way with my venue because it's on a working farm. So we have lots of different things that go on at the farm. So different, vehicles moving around. The farm dogs are loose running around. We have horses in a menage next door, all that. So dogs that come to train with me, I feel have a better um, sort of training what's the word, experience.
Yeah, yeah. Experience.
um,
And I also think it gives you, so lots of people are uncomfortable doing things in front of others,
Yes.
which is fine. I get that. But when you compete, you have to do things in front of other people, whether you perceive that people are watching you or whether they are watching you. You have to do it in front of other people. So training on your own doesn't give you the same mental stress as it does if you went into competition, which means I'm a great believer in energies transfer. So if you feel slightly uncomfortable when your dog is not used to you feeling like that energy then transfers onto your dog, and your dog will act differently. And then potentially you're going to blame the dog.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think, and also when you're the time pressure as well, I think, because when you're doing training online, and let's say, I think most of the ones that I know about, you sort of have a lesson on a Monday, then you have to sort of send in some stuff on a Wednesday or midweek for feedback, and then Friday you have your so it's sort of like a three-day week,
right? Okay.
Way of doing it.
Yeah.
But I feel that then that point, then you've got 2 or 3 days to go, well, I'll do it on Tuesday when I've got a spare 10 minutes, it's fine. But when you book a lesson, half an hour or an hour, you then go, right, I've got to sort this out now.
Yeah. And can you critique as well from a video? So as a trainer, I do offer Zoom. I worked with a person last year that was preparing for a big competition, and I did some Zooms, and I did critique some videos, but I didn't think I could critique them quite as well as if that person had been in front of me. And you certainly can't critique your own work. So I think if you're working on an online course that doesn't give you any video feedback, that's wrong, I think, because I go to other trainers, probably the same as you do, so that someone else can look at what you're doing. And someone else can say, you've just done that, you've just rewarded your dog for that, which you don't actually notice in the heat of the moment, do you?
I agree. Video feedback is a must, definitely. I think whatever online platform you're doing, I think you should be. There's got to have somebody somewhere who's got to tell you what you're either doing well or doing not so well. That's got to happen. Because the last thing you want to do is just follow a series of videos that you could be doing 1 or 2 things slightly wrong or slightly different, etc., and not getting the same thing. And then when you come to the end of the course or whatever, you're going, oh, I've done all this, and then they go, well, not really. Wrong arm, or you haven't done this right, or the dog's now thinking that you've got your dog a left turn instead of a right turn, which should have been on that cue, and all those sort of things. So I think I think online, I think for if you're slightly more experienced,
that's what I was going to say. If you're more experienced, run a few,
and like for me, for you, for instance, if we're training something, we're experienced, and I want a little bit more advice, maybe let's say on my running dog walk or my seesaw training or whatever, then I would go to somebody and go, right, I need this online package. Can you help me? Blah blah blah. And I can do that in my own
context, isn't it?
And then I know that person I'm doing that for or with, I can send the videos knowing that I'm going to get some sort of critique or feedback on it. Whereas if you're just a beginner handler maybe, or just starting out, and you're relying solely on videos or an online platform to train, I don't know whether that's a good idea or not. But then that's me. I don't like it, so that's probably where I'm coming from.
But I agree. And I also don't think it prepares your dog. So I always like to give an example. I had a dog that was a very natural, not my dog, it was client's dog, was a very natural agility dog, absolutely stunning. Learned to weave, first time handler, learned to weave within like 3 or 4 group lessons, which is kind of just unheard of, but a very natural agility dog. And she was on a lesson where, so my menagerie split into 2. And she was on a lesson where we only had half the menage in use, so we only had one group at a time. She said to me, do you think he's ready for competition? I was like, yeah, he's amazing, he's absolutely ready. Let's put him into a double class, see how he copes. And he didn't. To the point where I've still said a year down the line, I'm like, sadly he's not ready for the environment, going to a lot of shows where she's not competing. So, but I wouldn't have known that even as a trainer, because that dog has never ever been reactive out on a walk, never had a chase problem, never. It was just sheerly the high arousal of that thing. So online you wouldn't know that, would you?
No, not necessarily. And also, like you say, like we said at the very start, that you could feel that you're, the best hand off an online program. You're doing it in your back garden in your field, and you feel that everything is perfect, and you go, all right, I'm the best handler there is. And then you go out there and your dog then decides to go and do whatever else it wants to do, and you've got
it's all the dog's faults, and you're still the best handler.
Yeah. But then you've got no way of what's the word,
comparing yourself. You
got no way of comparing that. You got no way of scoring that against anything at all. So how do I know what's going to happen, where it's going to happen? Whereas if you've done some face-to-face training, group lessons, workshops, etc., if you've done more and more of those, you've got more of an idea about how your dog is going to react in an environment, whatever else is happening at that point.
No, I agree. I think they have, like you say, I think they have a place, and I think modules have a place, but and I guess it depends how honest you are as a trainer as to whether you would actually turn around, if you were approached by a beginner and say, actually, you'd probably do better to go and do some beginning lessons. But let's face it, there are so many online courses for so many different things, so many professions, so many that, almost if you're not a part of it, then you're almost behind the times.
Yes.
And loads of people love it. Loads of people progress with it. Is it my preferred method? No. Even us having this meeting seems like unnatural, doesn't it? It's great. It's lovely.
Yeah. Whereas if we were sat at a show somewhere in the cafe or something, it would be a whole different.
But interestingly, we probably, if we were recorded ourselves sitting around a table having a coffee, nobody would be interested at all. Maybe they're not interested anyway, but so I guess it is a sign of the times. It is a good thing, and it does have its place. But
and I suppose it does give handlers access to trainers that they wouldn't normally get access to. If if you're training,
that's part of the buzz. I remember getting up early in the morning and going to drive to Body Quick in Devon, just because I loved her training, and I don't know. Everybody's different. Everybody has a choice.
I like that as well. It might take me 2 hours to get there for a 2-hour session or whatever, but if it's somebody I want to go and train with, then I'll make that a little bit of an effort. Go and do that. But also, I think as well, coming from a trainer's point of view, there's a lot more workshops now in the week instead of the weekends, whereas it used to be quite a weekend type thing. But now it's a lot more a weekday. And I'm the same, obviously, because I'm coming from a trainer, so I do a lot of my stuff in the week now, very rarely on weekends. So I suppose that's also where you go, well, I can't get to so-and-so on a Tuesday or a Monday, so I'll have to go online and do whatever I can do online. So there's also that as well.
Actually, video their, I don't want names, but does anyone actually video their workshop? So if I did a 2-hour workshop, I wonder whether it would be good to video it and then offer that, because then you're kind of watching others be critiqued, you're seeing the problems. I find that some of these online courses, I think the groups are a little bit different, but where people kind of video their own dogs, they don't show it when it goes wrong. How do you problem solve?
It is a bit more clinical, I suppose. They do have troubleshooting, don't they? There's a bit of troubleshooting on there at some point, but there is a little bit more. It's a little bit more clinical, I suppose. The environment's a little bit more clean, isn't it, when going? So the chances of mistakes happening are going to be slimmer. I think. I guess you could do it that way. I know when I'm training, some of the places that I train at, regular places that I go, they very often will ask me if they can record certain sections of the workshop.
My PT does that, not my actual physical PT. He videos something. Oh, please don't get my face in it. I'm rubbish.
But no, they have asked me, like when I'm explaining things, they say, "Oh, can I come and video that so I can watch that back with you explaining it and and going through it that way." So they do get that a little bit from me. But yeah, it would be, I suppose, interesting to. But I think you'd have to have somebody almost. You'd have to have a videographer there to do that for you.
Yeah, which is hard, isn't it?
You'd have to have somebody there with 2 or 3 different cameras, probably. Be a harder setup. You could do that from a phone, I suppose, but you'd have to keep moving the phone around, or you'd have to have somebody to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be interesting. But I think the online, it's the way of the future. I think that's the way it's going to go.
Yeah, maybe.
And if people, again, like we always say we always seem to say on this podcast, if that's what floats your boat, and if that's what,
but it doesn't give you social skills. It doesn't give you the ability to say to everyone, hello.
Yeah, I suppose that is that as well. Building those yours and your dog's social skills, and helping out, getting out in the fresh air a little bit more to new places, different people.
Yeah. But then, like I said, if it suits somebody at home that doesn't want to go and compete, then great. That is a really good thing. And lots of people like to get perfection before they take it out into ring because they don't want to look stupid.
No, and I get that, but I don't think that can happen. I don't.
No, it can't. No, I don't think it can happen.
But I don't think you'll get, because there's so many different variables at a show that you wouldn't get if you're training at home or even in your own venue. Like people that come to me regularly, and let's say they only come to me once a week or twice a week. They come to my venue, my thing, my training, my equipment, all that sort of stuff. And then their dog is brilliant. They're brilliant, and then they go to a workshop somewhere else, or they go to somewhere else, and it's like they've never done agility before.
Yeah. I've seen that.
I think, and that's where you need to get out. I think that's where online, I think, has its benefits. And I think if you're on a certain thing where you go, right, I want to concentrate solely on my weaves, or I want to concentrate solely on my running dog walk, and you've got somebody that's got that expertise, then jump on.
I think that's very different. So like I love, if somebody sends me like slow-mos of weaves and everything, can you problem solve this? And I think that's really, really good. But actually kind of a workshop is a little bit different. Stuart, I have an issue in that I'm grandma and I have a puppy that
I think we've spoken to her.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I can hear
the it's fine.
Like she needs
you're absolutely fine. I think we've sorted that again. Same as we say after the end of every episode. Anybody that's got any sort of feedback, comments, they need, if they want to discuss anything.
Yeah, and if somebody wants to advertise their online course in the comments, please do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. If you definitely. And then if anybody wants to get in touch with us, if they feel like they know somebody that we could speak to, or if they want to speak to us about anything in particular, then obviously get in touch and we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, excellent. Let us know you're listening.
Yeah, let us know that you're listening. That's the main important thing.
Yeah. All right then, my lovely.
All right then. Okay.
Bye.